The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn. Welcome to Sexytime.
We touched ourselves last night, pre-flight. Every week we...
Zero.
And I think it's gonna be a sexy time. Yeah. I don't know.
Please clip that for him. I guess I could.
I'm bringing sexy
back.
You're pretty goddamn sexy, so bringing sexy back. Oh. Zero, thank you for the diamond.
All right.
I'm pumped. I'm sorry.
You did a good job. I like the what's it called? Tights?
Garter belt? The thigh highs?
Oh, it's the those are thigh highs. Oh my.
Yeah. I have a garter belt on. Wait. Let's see if I can do that. Show your lemons. You're going to show me many ice creams.
I will show you many ice creams.
Show me your ice cream. Oh.
Thank you. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
Oh my god. This is a Russian mail order bride. I love it.
I am not mail order bride. I am polyamorous. Any man want to put up with me? I'm Russian polyamorous girl.
This is this isn't that
sexy.
sexy.
Oh, you like the whip. You want, okay. I like the...
Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
So good. Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too. Yugoslavian.
You'd think I was actually drinking, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for those lemon ices. You're pretty goddamn sexy too. Enjoy your dinner.
You're really goddamn sexy.
That's your favorite song. You like the lemon sound, don't you?
Goddamn sexy.
I do. And I'm a masochist, so I made it so people can't spam it, but but I love it.
I think that's a wise choice, BK.
I know. Oh.
That choice is pretty goddamn sexy.
Thank you,
Please,
Coin.
somebody clip BK making that sound.
No. Anyway, but
I think I could clip it.
Ah, crap.
This is right up my alley. As they say in Asia Town, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Oh, that's what I've heard anyway. And clitoral is more common than the other one, I believe. And so from what I was, from knowing that information, from my vast experience of asking women about their clit and their insides, their vagina. Yes, I always do that. Every first date. Talk to me about your clit and your vagina. I'm sorry. It was there. Instead of, exactly.
Oh,
that's what happened. Spider Josh, Spider Jace, Spider Josh, Spider Jace, does whatever a Spider Jace.
The one in quotes or the
Whatever
whole
you
thing?
want.
The whole thing. I like the whole thing, baby.
All right, the whole thing. Need to poop in that first year together? Dear God, lock the door, turn on the faucet, and pray they don't know you shit. After 5 years or so, need to poop, doors open, lights are on, and someone yells, honey, bring the camera. It's an evolution.
Thank you, Jason Macho. You're awesome, dude. You're great, and that's why we made this. We work well together. I'll be happy to do that.
It's true. It's true. And you know what I have to say to what's going on in the chat right now? Oh, Monster J.
Are you in trouble? Are you okay? That's the safe word. Are you okay?
No, she says everybody should just yell Monster J in the bedroom.
Okay, good. Well, I was adopting it as my new safe word.
I'm in my bedroom.
As soon as I hear Monster J now, I'm like, wait a second, alert, safe word been activated.
No, I'm in my bedroom, so I had to yell, oh, Monster J.
I'm in my bedroom too. Monster J.
Do it.
Oh, Monster J.
Yell it.
Oh, Monster J. Oh. Thank you, Monster J.
Somebody needs to clip that.
I love it because the nice thing is it's in Japan, so they might think it's something else.
Join us on our live stream. Right now, we've got some people still hanging out with us who are going to keep hanging out with us. The party doesn't stop when the podcast
stop. So if you want to be part of the party, you can always join us over at dlive.tv/sexytime. If you decide you want to subscribe to our channel, you can also join us afterwards for a no holds barred, very sexy, private conversation where you get to interact with me and BK in video. And it's a really, really fun, amazing time. I was having such a blast last week, and I can't wait to see who's going to be in our pillow talk tonight. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always submit your questions to us at sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytimedlove@gmail.com. You can record a voice memo. You can write it out, whatever you want. We're happy to take your questions. Welcome to Sexy Time.
Oh wait, we're not. Yeah, there. Now we're visible. Abracadabra. Happy Valentine's Day, to everybody. Shazam and abracadabra.
It's magic.
No, yeah, go ahead.
The brief story behind that is that I, for a long time, had a wonderful Canadian roommate part-time who she knew this French guy from Canada, this French Canadian guy who learned English from, and so you would find this interesting because you're an English teacher. So he learned English by reading only and grew up speaking French.
Oh, he's Japanese.
So,
Frenchanese.
No,
go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking with her in English one day and he said, you know, he was trying to figure out the word for magic. And he was like, you know, like abracadabra, Shazam.
That's so great. Shazam and abracadabra. You know.
This is why one must learn how to speak by speaking. But also, abracadabra sounds like that's like the magic of taking off a bra.
Yeah, right? I know it ends with bra. It was perfect for that. And
Abracadabra.
it made me think of like Jeff Goldblum style if you deliver it that way. You know, abracadabra. Shazam. You know, those yes. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day to you all.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to the lookers.
It is always a special day
the
here.
lurkers, the lovers. We may have a very small, intimate party. In fact, it might just be you, me, Shirley.
Don't be shy, lurkers. Come on, say hi.
I imagine
you don't have
that
to,
many people
we
are
love you.
Doing other things
Yes.
for the Valentine's Day or just doing other things. And we are more than happy.
And we're happy for them.
To have a nice, relaxed, low-key, intimate party.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're
I got a
all
new mug
about
today.
being happy for others, you know?
Check it.
I got a new mug today.
Mug?
Just for the show. Well,
Whoa.
not just for the show, but I thought it'd be perfect for our show tonight. See, you like my little mug?
Check out her mug.
It's actually a free T-Mobile mug that I got today.
Oh, speaking of which, T-Mobile, yeah.
Cute, right?
Yeah.
It was free. They're good at free things.
T-Mobile often helps with baseball if you're already subscribed there. And tomorrow, I'll probably mention this in the podcast too because it's fun. Because guess what? Baseball pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. So feel free to start using all those like sexy metaphors for baseball because, I hope we can do that. Yeah.
Hang on.
That's tomorrow. Pitching and catching too.
Can we just talk about the football metaphors that were being slung on the field for Super Bowl? I was like,
I didn't hear it. What? Give me some. I didn't hear it.
Gay? You're not gay, are you? Like they're talking
Hey,
about the
don't
tight
judge.
ends.
I get that all the time from my family.
What else they were saying, but I was like, whoa.
What were they saying?
I don't remember. Wait, let me just do it.
The tight end, and look at them hit that hole, hit the gap, hit the hole.
Stuff like that. Oh my God, no.
I'm trying to think of what they might
football,
say.
Right?
Oh, I know football. Yeah, hit the gap, penetrate the opposition.
Sexual football.
I don't know what they were saying. That
Sexual
could be
football puns. 35 football phrases that sound dirty to me.
And you heard it. Yeah, you heard it on the Super Bowl recently.
One.
Cool.
Okay, he trusts his own skills so much, sometimes he tries to squeeze it into too tight a spot. Just shove it right in that seam. It's all about the penetration. I'm pretty sure I did hear that.
Oh, that's true. They say that. That's why I was thinking penetration. Yeah, penetrate the line. Yeah, it's all about the penetration.
That's the second time he's gone all the way tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you just have to pound it in there.
He's got to go lower.
Here's a good one. The straight man just couldn't get to the ball in time. Wait, what else do we have? When you put 8 men in the box against these guys, you're going to run into problems.
8 men in the box. That's true. They say that a lot, actually.
He sees the hole and gets right up in there. When there's a pile of 10 or 11 guys sweaty, don't you just want to be on bottom?
They never say that. They never say that. They actually say the opposite, that you don't want to be on bottom in football.
You have to fight for every inch.
No, you just made that up. That's true. That's true. You got to fight for every inch. They say that all the time, yes.
Balls loose, great support up front. She knows how to play the field.
I love how you're doing this, Alice, because we can make this into a series, because one of my favorites is like Star Wars ones. So like if you look at the first 3 Star Wars, there's tons of them. Like Luke at that speed will be able to pull out in time, or like you came in that thing. You're braver than I thought. Stuff like that. There's tons of Star Wars ones that you could say. Get in there, you big furry oaf. I don't care what you smell. Stuff like that. They try to make it all sexual, and it's like, oh my goodness! Like when you try to think of it in that way, yeah. Star Wars is good ones. Football and baseball, I hope you sprint right into first base. They always do sex with the bases, right? Like slide into second, avoid the tag at third, and then score every time at home over and over and over again.
Amazing. Well, I will say congratulations to the Saints. I do not usually enjoy watching football. If I'm going to watch a bunch of sweaty men run around, I prefer the ultra homoerotic game of rugby. Oh my God, watching the All Blacks play is just like, stop it, I'm gonna die. But oh my God, I had so much fun watching that football game.
Oh, you did.
It was a really good freaking game, to the point that I didn't like the commercials or the halftime show as much as I liked the game.
Me too.
Which is very unusual for me. I actually caught myself shouting and cheering in a good way for the Chiefs.
Were you cheering for the Chiefs?
I did. They played so joyfully. I was really impressed with them. And I grew up nearish Philadelphia. And I'm very aware of the insanity that comes with being a Philadelphia sports fan. So I kind of
Silver Linings playbook.
Hate to root against them, but it's insane. Did you know that the cops actually greased the light poles in advance of the game, expecting people were going to try to climb on them like they did last time?
No, that's hilarious. They greased them
They greased them.
They
greased them. And I heard an interview on NPR where they were interviewing these Philadelphia sports fans, and they were like, yeah, they greased the poles. I'm going to climb up them anyway. It's a challenge. Just can't.
Wow.
But we recommend greasing your pole with water-based lube when you're going to use a condom.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, it was one of the best Super Bowls, and unfortunately, my knowledge of football and my obsession with it for many decades, like the ending was difficult to enjoy and feel really bad for Philadelphia. I was very happy for Kansas City, but I feel bad for Philadelphia too. The way it ended. The way it ended.
I did not.
Just the way it ended. Not because they lost, but the way it ended.
Here's the deal. It was such a close game.
Oh yeah. The whole game was good.
Touchdown for touchdown for touchdown for touchdown. They played really well.
Oh yeah, both teams.
There's a lot to be proud of there, even though they lost. So cheers, Eagles. Yeah. Cheers to the Philly Eagles. Good job.
As a football fan though, man, Seahawks is too. It's like it gave me Pittsburgh flashbacks. To all you football fans out there who are Philly fans, I apologize, but congratulations to both teams. And the Philadelphia Eagles handled it perfectly well. They didn't do anything, and like they were a freaking class act the whole way after.
Do you know about that? I actually have not looked at the news from Philadelphia for the day after. There is a history of that area having riots and fires afterwards.
They're famous for throwing snowballs at Santa Claus for doing an NFL game. Yeah.
Let's see, riots after.
I think that wasn't Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think it was Philly.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the players, though. I'm talking about the players.
Yeah, no.
The players are the ones
has a story.
who
Eagles
sacrificed
fans
everything to
flood
get
Philly
to work.
streets after Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chiefs. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But the players, I'm saying the players like sacrificed so much and worked so hard to get where they go. So I feel bad for the way it ended for them. But I'm talking about them handling it with class. They did not like call for riots. They did not say this is unfair. They did not do anything like that. So all the players were really handling it well, which is refreshing the way that ended. Because
but there were riots and riot police had to break them up. I'm not surprised. Eagles fans march on cities as they scale lampposts, chant "fuck the Chiefs." Yeah. Sadly, I'm unsurprised.
I understand as a Seahawks fan though, but do not say "fuck the Chiefs." I would say
just generally speaking, please don't riot after your team loses. It's
not worth it.
It's not worth going to jail.
Yeah, I was grumpy all day the next day when the Seahawks lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I wore a hat that said "fuck the refs." I didn't say "fuck the Chiefs."
You know what they should do?
But I didn't say and I don't blame the refs. I wouldn't say punish the refs. I'd punish Goodell. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
They should create a giant mosh pit. Play some music and let people get their frustration out that way.
It probably is. Because you know that there's always those Super Bowl babies, so there's going to be, speaking of going back to sex and relationships, there's going to be some very aggressive sex on both sides, both fans' bases, because they always have Super Bowl babies, by the way, like the happy ones and the sad ones too, though. But like they let it out, and then there's always like 9 to 10 months after the Super Bowl, there's a batch of babies from the fans of usually the winners, though, because again, it's good. That's usually sex positivity, where usually it's the winning team that you have a lot more babies, meaning love is more powerful than hate, because they always talk about the Super Bowl babies.
Silver Lining Playbooks.
Did you watch that? Yeah.
Or Silver Linings Playbook. It's one of my favorite movies. I've watched it multiple times, and they were dead on about the Phillies.
Philadelphia Eagles?
Or Philadelphia fans, yeah.
Or Philadelphia fans? Yeah.
Philadelphia fans, I should say.
Most sports fans can get to that, though, but you're right. They kind of doubled down on it there. Like I said, I was a diehard Seahawks fan, and I was really pissed off. But yeah, it's not worth going to jail or ruining a life.
No.
So, yeah.
I can't imagine you've ever been to that point.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I mean, like, the dark feelings inside, I understand them. You know what I mean? I get that. And again, I was grumpy all day and had a sign on me being pissed. But anyway.
Attachment monster.
Oh, yeah. But it's interesting. We're talking about this. It's like a special day. Tomorrow, again, not every year after Valentine's Day, but this year after Valentine's Day is a special day where pitchers and catchers report, kind of showing the transition to baseball, professional sports, and today's Valentine's Day. But again,
What do you mean
we get
they
attached. Like pitchers and catchers have to go. Basically, it's like spring training, report for spring training or training to get ready for the season. So they're going to start doing drills, getting warming up, and yeah. So the pitchers and catchers go first because they're the ones that create the action, and they have to be on the same page and get to know each other. So they start by pitchers and catchers, and they start working on stuff and getting back into shape, hugging and kissing, touching each other's butts, all that stuff.
I'm distracted by your background. It's new.
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day. So again, there's these things that come up that's special, and I thought this is close enough to me and my wife that I'll go with that.
Aw.
Yeah.
I've never seen you with a beard quite like that. And you'll never let me talk you into growing your hair that long. No. I've been that long before. But you're right. Nowadays. Yeah, you're right. Nowadays. Rude. I try all the time to talk you into it, but your wife understandably rules.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, the razor.
It's a contest. She wins.
The razor's getting charged for this
That's
weekend.
clear.
I'm sorry.
No, come on. It's not even long enough yet.
She actually.
I dare you to save it until next Valentine's Day. You can have her cut it for her Valentine's Day.
Not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
The one that's in a month, right? Don't you do like a
that Valentine's Day? I see. Yeah. Oh, a month later?
Yeah. Let her cut your hair when it's like, she'll be annoyed with you because you haven't cut your hair yet. So like, let her do it for that holiday.
That's the worst gift I've ever heard, though. Hey, happy Valentine's Day for the girls, or White Day they call it over here. Hey, happy White Day. My gift to you is to cut my hair and service my hair.
You can control my hair now.
You can control my hair. It's my gift. Give me a haircut. Thank you. Congratulations. I love you.
It's funny.
But yeah, so
here you go.
I do think any day can be special, or any day we mark them a bit too much, and it's kind of like you said, attachment and our expectations. It's the double-edged sword. I think it's good to have the day. I don't hate Valentine's Day, and I don't hate like these certain things, these days that mark the occasion, but I think it goes either way. You can go a reminder, or you can go where you build it up so important, like a game that makes you go crazy and climb poles.
I have an idea.
What's up?
Before you go off on a soapbox.
We're going to do that when we get into the podcast.
Before we go on a soapbox about Valentine's Day, why don't we save it for the show?
Good idea. 5 minutes. Or we can go early.
Well, we can start now. Why don't we start now?
Let's start now. Happy Valentine's Day to you all.
A little PE for Valentine's Day. Woo woo.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Turn alerts
you
off.
You just asked Mistress of Ceremonies to please do her thing.
Okay. Hey, Mistress of Ceremonies. Show's on in 2 seconds. Or 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. She's good.
Welcome to Sexytime, where we answer your questions about sex, relationships, and everything sexy in between. Don't forget, you can send your burning questions by voice or email to sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytime, DLOVE, @gmail.com. Anonymous questions are welcome. Thanks for hooking up with us today. Now, let's cozy up and join our hosts, Aliz and BK Johnsen.
Thank you, Mistress of Ceremonies, and happy Valentine's Day to you.
Hello. How are you today, BK?
I'm good. It's the day past Valentine's Day here in Japan as we record this live streamed, and I'm loving. It was a nice, relaxing day with my wife. So Valentine's Day is for the male only in Japan. So it was a nice day, special for me, and then in a month I'll be able to do it for her. How are you doing, Aliz?
I'm doing quite well. I had a wonderful self-love Valentine's Day, and we'll see how sore I am when I wake up in the morning.
Sounds great.
I've had a lot of massage and acupuncture today, trying to take care of some stuff with my back and my neck and my shoulders. So it was quite wonderful. I was serviced by some wonderful professionals today.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fantastic. We all hope you're enjoying your Valentine's Day, whether it's a celebrated day or not. We'll actually want to talk about that. We have a special sexy soapbox that we were going to do about Valentine's Day, specifically because it's a special day. But for all of you podcast listeners, we know you get this on a bit of a delay. If you want to check it out live, we are on youtube.com/ Sexytime podcast. If you want to see the live and catch it a little bit earlier, go ahead and check that out. But with any questions that we have that are maybe like timely based, we make sure that we answer them as well and let them know if there's something important before we do it on the show, just to let you know. So if you have a delay, sorry about that. But hey, get involved with the show if you want to know. Patreon.com/Sexytime podcast. You can become a Patreon where you get access to our private Discord. You can ask your questions there and email us, and we will get back to you there. So if you're worried about that delay on the podcast land, thank you for listening. But you can get through those delays by just, don't be shy. Email us, become a Patreon. There's many ways to do that. But yeah, we hope you're all having a lovely Valentine's Day. Wherever you may be, and every day.
We have, by the time we get on this podcast, of course, Valentine's Day will have long passed. So we'll try to keep this show for you completely relevant.
Yes.
But it is always fun to go back and think about Valentine's Day or these holidays in general and what they mean to us. And so we've got a poll going on here now in the chat. What is Valentine's Day to you? Valentine's Day is A, just another day. B, for money greedy corporations. I know I hear that a lot. C, a great day to treat my significant other. Or D, a good time to remember to love all.
I'm so glad you didn't put all of the above, because that would be the easy way out.
No way. I don't believe in an easy way out.
Get in there hard.
I'm not easy going in or coming out. Oh.
I like the friction.
I mean, friction is good.
Just another day. I'm trying to devote myself. Just another day. Money greedy corporations. That sounds like my parents. A great to treat my significant other. A good time to remember to love all. Ooh, okay.
And that includes, of course, yourself.
I know what to vote. If you want to get on that vote, feel free to join us again. YouTube.com/Sexytime podcast. Or if you miss it, we actually, for anyone who's a Patreon, we do keep the polls in our Patreon Discord. So come to the Discord, you'll see what the results are, and we'll announce it at the end of the show too. So if you can remember.
Speaking of lovers, we've got some new lovers to thank.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Fire.
I may need your assistance with this. Maybe I don't actually.
Oh.
So we now have 4 Dungeon Masters. Y'all must think we're some amazing subs because you really love Dominus, and we appreciate that. We've got Linz and John. We've got Shirley. I'm sorry, I'm looking at these names and I'm going like, wait, what does that mean?
See, I'll give you
we've got Koala and we've got Mark, all on our Dungeon Masters. We're so grateful for you. I believe Monster J will be coming back to the fold at some point in time, and we will welcome her back whenever that is. In the meantime, thank you guys for all being there as our Doms, and those are our shout outs as well.
Yes,
everybody is jumped up to
it means
Dom.
so much.
They decided a sexy shout out just wasn't enough. And we do have a new patron we'd like to welcome. Welcome to Webster Games. Thank you for joining us. We hope you're enjoying our Discord in the community, and we're super grateful for you.
Yes.
As we are to all of our patrons.
Speaking of which, yeah. Let's get to the sexy soapbox, because there was a question from Webster Games that I wanted to talk about too. So, because they were
so
awesome.
You wanted to soapbox a little bit, I think, about Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day.
I mean, what are your thoughts, generally speaking?
Excellent
Not to give
question.
away your poll answers, but what are your thoughts about Valentine's Day? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you want something different?
Well, there was some lovely questions from all y'all about special occasions. And I think building it up to that sometimes can be difficult, especially when it's something like Valentine's Day, where it's kind of like a two-person special occasion. So I like to think of them more of like a reminder or practice, because, when you give like gifts for birthdays or Christmas or something like that, or even not even gifts, like texts, messages, emails, letters in the old days, but you hope you get it right? You have that pressure because it's like, okay, I want to make sure I get that right and stuff. Or you can even go to like a job interview, make sure you get the resume right or answer the questions correctly. You get kind of worked up to get it right. And I think that leaks into things like Valentine's Day, special occasions that we like try to think about, we kind of get in our head about. But in reality, especially when you take a step back, or especially when you've been married for over 16 years now and have gone through rigors of that with wife and non-wife relationships, we don't like, you kind of take a step back, and that'll be my sexy soapbox, talking about how like everything can be an opportunity or special occasion or a chance for growth. And this isn't a rant against like all things like, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. But I do think we limit, if we do it negatively, I do think these are all great things to remind ourselves. Again, that's why I say a reminder or practice. But we tend to like want to blame the day or blame something else, like saying that, again, like it's all about the corporate greediness and whatnot to sell cards and candy or gifts. But I think if we get down that path, we limit our amount of like our capacity for love and caring and appreciation for people in our life just to one day. And that's very difficult. It's not practical, and I think we can do it every day. So, I mean, on the opposite side of the world here in Japan, I was mentioning it before on the live stream and right now in the podcast, that in Japan, Valentine's Day is for the guy. And then a month later, March 14th, they call it White Day. But it's for the woman.
Why do they call it White Day?
I think it's for like there's a lot of, their flag is white and red too, and the white is kind of symbolizing certain things to them. So
that's interesting.
They symbolize for like also for purity because of wedding dresses and stuff too. So there's a lot of different things they talk about, because the woman usually wears white on wedding dresses. I don't think that's new though, because in the old days I don't think they did that in Japan. So I do think that's people kind of Americanizing the White Day. I don't know, maybe. I don't really know, but I know that I do think it had to do with the symbolism of white in Japan, and it is a big part of them, their flag colors and whatnot. But and Valentine's Day is red, right? So if you put it together, red and white is the Japanese flag.
Japanese flag, yeah.
So the woman gets a day for that a month later, and so I think it's nice where it's spread out, because I get to experience that in Japan, and it kind of puts less pressure, makes it less competitive. And again, going back to like Christmas or birthdays, where people get competitive sometimes, thinking, oh, they didn't really like my gift, but I love their gift, I feel bad, type of thing. Where if you split it up, it's a lot easier too. And it kind of, again, proof of what I was saying before, that if you split it up, you don't have to split up between 2 days. You can split it up whenever you want. Like any day can become a special occasion or an opportunity to be appreciative and caring and loving to anyone you want. So that's my
it's really nice
soapbox.
too how you take all of that spotlight attention, right, and focus it in on one person. So you really, like, that whole night gets to be for that one person.
Right? Yeah.
That's really nice.
Who
doesn't want a special day?
What are your thoughts on Valentine's Day, Alice?
Man, it's so funny. As soon as we started talking about this, I started thinking about like when I was a little girl, and we used to do those like handwritten Valentines when we were kids. Do you know, like the cards that you buy, and they're just like those little Valentines. Those little, they were like rectangles, right? Some you'd get like a Charlie Brown one, or
we're dating ourselves,
Alice. Now they probably have like Dora the Explorer, and I don't know what, but they have all kinds of different Valentines that you would give out to each other. And I remember like feeling really good if I got more Valentines, or feeling really bad if like the boy I wanted a Valentine from didn't give me a Valentine. It was like, and it's funny, like now, decades later, thinking back to it, I'm not doing anything terribly special for Valentine's Day today. I took care of myself today. I do have a date tomorrow, but it's not for Valentine's Day. And in fact, it's with somebody who hates Valentine's Day. So it's definitely not for that. But, I will say, I admit, I did find myself paying attention to who messaged me today, and being grateful that everyone I wanted to message me messaged me.
Oh, nice.
Right? Isn't that funny? So you like, it's easy to judge this and think it's like shallow and I don't know, silly maybe, but we all have values in our lives, and it is okay if maybe attention or recognition is one of your values. That is okay. I'm not going to lie and say it's not one of mine, because it is. I'm a performer. I like validation. I like recognition. I like all of that stuff. Do I always need it? No, but it's nice to have. And there's something about Valentine's Day that reminds you to shower some people that you care about with love, even if it's just a text. I saw somebody else in my building was delivered long stem roses today, and good for them. I'm so glad I didn't get them because they make me sneeze. You know, everybody's version of what makes them feel loved is different. And I think it's important to make sure that you're prioritizing on days like these, or like birthdays, or things where you want that attention, to give it to yourself. Plan to give it to yourself, whether that's throwing yourself a party or scheduling a date or planning a date if you really want one to happen, or giving yourself you time. Maybe the best thing you could do to make yourself feel loved is to sit at home and watch Netflix all night while you eat chocolate. Like, plan it for yourself. And if somebody else also lavishes love on you, great. But you know what? Let that be maybe not secondary per se, but let that come as it comes, and give yourself the love that you deserve every day.
Yes.
But especially on those days where you feel like, okay, I really want to feel this today because I don't want to feel left out. Well, don't leave yourself out. Plan it.
Fuck yeah, that was amazing. I'm so glad you went there. It tickled my
I didn't know where I was going.
You totally went to my heart and my groin. I was like, yeah. Like, that's the point. Like, I do think self-love is so sexy. Like actually, I mean, we say love is such a complicated and can be volatile and explosive and positive and possibly destructive ways sometimes. But I think self-acceptance is also what we're kind of talking about too. Like, self-acceptance and care. Those are all parts of love. And so I love that you brought it to that. I think that is the key of having a good Valentine's Day. And yeah, if you love it's so weird, but if you love yourself or accept yourself and take care of yourself, then you can actually be a good partner for your partner, whether, or even a friend, like anything like that. So yeah, I think if you do it that way, every Valentine's Day and every day can be great.
And I think I think Valentine's Day could be even extra special for lesbians, because they could just call it V-Day and make it a double entendre.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought it was a lesbian day. We just stole it, but I thought it was originally a lesbian day. That's what I thought with the V, but okay.
Not that I'm aware.
I just assumed, I never try to know too much. I just
Happy Vagina Day, everybody.
Happy V-Day. Yeah, exactly. Double V-Day.
Wait.
Yep, exactly. That makes sense. Oh man, I'm glad. Yeah. So, do we have some?
Yeah. So.
Oh, speaking of which, we did just get some new dungeon masters. So if there is some sexy soapbox that you want us to do, you do get that as a dungeon master. So let us know. We love to hear from you.
Whatever topics you want us to rant about, and any audio you want us to record.
I'm excited. Patreon.com/Sexytime podcast. Get in there, baby.
One of them was threatening possibly something from Shades of Grey. We will see.
50 Shades of Grey, yes.
I don't know.
It's going to be hilarious.
I don't know. I just want to put this out there. I don't know if I've said it before, but it's really worth a Google. Gilbert Gottfried reads 50 Shades of Grey.
So
is definitely one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my whole life.
I love that.
Pretty
I love Gilbert. Rest in peace, brother. And it's so good.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah.
Oh,
two of my favorite comedians around the same time. Actually, almost. Well, yeah, it's Norm Macdonald and Gilbert Gottfried. But unfortunately, Bob Saget was really good too. But they all around the same time. They were really close. At least I know Norm and Bob Saget were. But anyway.
I used to know somebody who'd
50
have
Shades
to
of Grey.
drag Gilbert Gottfried out of bed and get him to set, and apparently that was not an easy job to do. But anyway,
I could see that. Gilbert Gottfried's
Yeah.
not gonna.
I
Yeah,
know.
he's gonna be great. Anyway, questions ready?
question.
Want me to go, ladies first? Me? So me first?
I
Oh no, go
I
ahead.
could start.
Okay, you start. Go for it.
Okay. So stop me if I've read this. I do not think I have. I think this one has been waiting for a couple of weeks for me. So I hope our listener is still, that this would still be helpful. So this is a 24-year-old female talking about her boyfriend, who is a 41-year-old male. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 3 years, and for a while we've been toying with the idea of an open relationship. He's very jealous. I have a high sex drive, so I'm really open to sleeping with other men. And I was very happy that he brought up the topic, but I'm a little concerned that he's not going to react well once we actually pull the plug. I'm not sure. Do you have any ideas as to why he might have brought it up with his jealous past? I'm open to him sleeping with other women in the future. However, we both decided that our first step was for me to be with other men. I don't know why he wants it in this way, and I'm a little nervous about letting him have what he wants. What should I do?
Oh, wait, let me double check the ages: 24 and 41, and
it's a large age gap.
3 and 4 years. How long were they together?
They've been together for 3 years,
Okay.
and it's looks like a 16-year age gap.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned with the
there's
age
anything
gap.
wrong with
Yeah,
that. She's rather young, though.
yeah.
She's 24 and he's 41.
Thank you for this question. It's a very complicated issue, obviously, because a lot of it has to do with understanding what you both want and setting correct boundaries, and kind of that type of communication is going to be a lot of it. But from myself personally, this is my take on it. Could be wrong, but I do see it often where people try to create reasons to get out of, or either get out of things or to get what they want, right? So, for example, if he's jealous, again, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but if he's jealous and then this happens, and then he shows his jealousy more, or he's jealous and you're kind of nitpicking on him, it sounds like you might already have that relationship or communication saying, yeah, we know I'm jealous, in that relationship, whatever. We know he's jealous or whatever. You've talked about it maybe. And then this happens, and then it allows him to be okay with being jealous. You see what I'm saying? He gets to express that, where she can't say, oh, stop being so jealous. He's like, well, before, when we were together, we always talked about, when we were exclusive, we already knew I was jealous. So let me be me, type of thing. So it's either get what you want or a reason to get out of things, right? Like, for example, if you're like quitting a job, you might make up some elaborate story or whatever it is, right? You will do things to get what you want. And that's that would be my main concern. And that it's not that you're both not in the mode of confronting the actual issue of what's going on, what type of relationship you're in, what you both want, and what you both would think is good moving forward, right? And good for each other. That's what I would focus on more. I think some of these things are probably more of a distraction, or again, I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose. People do this all the time subconsciously, saying, oh, if I let those flow, and then all of a sudden I get what I want, or all of a sudden I'm free of this tension or annoyance, whatever. So that's what I would be worried about. So I think your senses are dead on. I think you're doing, actually, it's smart to think of those things before you actually just jump in and thinking, well, he said it, it's going to be okay. Yeah, with what you said in the question, I think the details that you gave, I think your your instincts are on that. It's probably going to not be as hunky-dory if you tried that out. So I would go and again focus more on the relationship of what you want from each other, what you think moving forward is best for both of you, and what you truly want, and don't try to kind of, again, going to sound negative, but it's not. It's like half-assing it in the middle of like, oh, let's just see this and see if it works, where it's like, oh, you're getting red flags that it's probably not going to work if he's jealous and these other things. So that's my advice, is confronted on that end? What really reanalyze the relationship of what you want and what you're going to do moving forward together?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of love that. What do you really want? You guys have been together for 3 years. You're 24. So I'm guessing you haven't had that many relationships. What do you want? Do you want this to be the one? Is that a thing you even want? Because you said during your question that you're more than happy to sleep with other men. So, and you're more than happy to let him sleep with other women. Is that because you're not monogamous? You're not necessarily wired for monogamy? Or is that because you're not really that into him, that you want him to be the one for you? Either way, if you're willing to either let go of him and or go ahead and sleep with other people to see what's out there and to see what's possible, maybe this is a good opportunity for you to go ahead and do that. You already know that he's jealous. And frankly, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't put up with jealousy forever. So this is just me, maybe. Maybe you think the relationship with him is worth him acting jealously with you, even though you haven't been with other men yet. But if you don't like his jealousy, maybe you want to blow it up. Maybe you want to be done. I don't know. I agree with BK 100%. You got to figure out what you want and then move forward, because frankly, it sounds like your instincts are honed. And it sounds like this is going to blow shit up. Now, if you are willing, I don't know how you guys handle conflict together. Now, you may be like, yeah, he's jealous, but maybe the way he expresses his jealousy is healthy. That's unlikely, but it's possible, right? If that's true, then maybe this opens up opportunities for you guys to discuss conflict and for you guys to grow together. How do you handle conflict normally? If you guys handle conflict and his jealousy well, then maybe this is a good opportunity for you to go ahead and move forward and be intentional about it. But if you don't handle conflict well, if he yells at you, if his jealousy is kind of out of control,
the makeup sex sucks.
Honestly, I would say let go of it. Unless you can have a direct conversation with him. Asking us why we think he wants this isn't going to really help. But you need to ask him why he wants this. Maybe he wants to be a cuckold. Maybe he has some secret desire to actually be ashamed in this way. A lot of guys like being cuckolds, and it's surprising how many are out there.
Not really.
It's true.
Not a lot.
No, it's true. There are a surprise. I'm just going to say, trust me on this one, BK. There's a surprising number of men out there who want to be cuckolded. It is out there.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm not saying they're not out there.
Is one of them.
But I guess
I'm not saying all men want that.
No. But I don't think it's as high.
Large number.
Yeah.
It's higher than one would expect.
Well, you'll find whatever you're looking for. That's for sure.
Okay. I haven't looked for that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say, it's possible your boyfriend might want that given the setup that's going in. And I just think it might be good for you guys to have an honest conversation and find out what he wants. But first, check out for yourself what you want and whether you're willing to blow it up, and also how you guys handle conflict and whether this might open doors for you or just blow everything up so that you have a reason to walk out, which, hey, maybe that's what you want too. But I highly recommend being honest with yourself and then being open and honest with him.
Yeah, it could be that magical unicorn of jealousy is good, but usually it's not the case. So again, lean on the odds sometimes. I had a question that came up. I agree, Alice. Wow, somebody just followed. Sorry, I turned off the alerts, but I think it's still procs or sub. Yeah.
Welcome.
Our live stream, if you want to check that out. But so it came up as a question: is this? And I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking you, Alice. Is this guy that sounds like someone who kind of wants to dabble in possible polyamory, but is actually really monogamous, but he doesn't really want to commit to anything. You know what I mean? Like, what type of vibes?
I don't know this guy at all. Like, this is the thing, asking us what he wants is kind of silly. I don't know him at all. She knows him. She needs to ask him what he really wants. He may be into poly. I suspect this guy is into cuckolding.
Hey.
But I don't know.
Them's
But just
words.
the fact that he gets jealous and is asking for it tells me that there's maybe something where he wants to be made a fool in that way.
I think it's Socrates, though. You need to know yourself, like know thyself more, because that's what it's the half measures of like, maybe I'm into cuckolding, or maybe this is what it's like, sometimes.
Kinkiness can be funny, and kinks pop up all the time in people's lives as they get older. Like, some people don't know that they have certain kinks until they're in their midlife.
I'm not saying never to try it. I'm saying, I think that it's interesting that, I mean, again, I'm not against not going down that path, but I think the half measures is what kind of hurts people, where it's just again, like I said with the Valentine's Day, it's more like a practice or a reminder that you're not really trying to understand what you really want. And so go ahead and do that, but then after you do it, you'll know if it's really what you want or not, right?
Sure. I'm just saying kinks can be very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And some kinks are just hardwired and they're just there, and you can't make any sense out of why they're there. And some kinks are, traumas that people are working out, and there are all kinds of kinks. And it's sort of like, yes, this guy's 41 years old, but how much time has he spent in therapy?
But they've been together for 3 years.
Know himself?
Like in dating apps,
Sure.
It's terrible when it's like, I'm here to do this, when it's like, oh, this dating app is not for that. It's like uncomfortable. So there's plenty of ways to check out and see if you like that kink without hurting someone for 3 years in a relationship, or it's like, oh, okay, if you're into that, know yourself enough, and then actually don't drag someone along without, going the middle ground of like, no, I think I want monogamy, but that's what I'm saying. Go to kink. What's
I
that
have
site?
to go with people change. Like, people change throughout life. So like, you've been with your wife now for what, 15, 16 years?
I'm not judging the kink. I'm judging the actions of trying to find your kink to try to get to who you really are and explore that, so that instead of going into places thinking, well, maybe I'm into polyamory, maybe I'm into this kink, but then it's like, oh, whoops.
No, it sounds like he's legit trying to talk her into sleeping with other men.
Well, if she's so confused, though, it's not open borders. I mean, it's kind of, or it's not. Yeah.
Relationship.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a great question because it both triggered us on like what's going on with terrible communication between these two.
I think you're judging the situation in a way that may not be necessary. I mean, I don't understand why this guy wants this, and it may be a huge red flag, but only she's going to know whether she's willing to risk that. I personally would risk it, because if this guy is going to be super jealous, I want to know now, and I want the relationship to blow up if that's how it's going to be. But she may not feel that way, right? So it really has to be up to her. And it has to be up to them together.
I know. I always say that too. I'm saying that I'm trying to explore multiple possibilities. So it doesn't.
Sure.
That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not judging that this is what's happening. I'm saying this could be happening too. It's not saying, oh, it's definitely going to be one of these 5 doors. It's going to be. I just don't know. Doors.
I don't know that he doesn't know himself. It just may be that he is recognizing that there's a thing that he wants to explore that he's never explored before. And look, I didn't come out as poly until I was like in my mid-30s, and several years before that, somebody said to me like, oh, my wife and I are going to be poly, like, you and I have feelings for each other, let's explore this. And I'm like, oh, never mind, then there's nothing for me in this, because I'm looking for the one. Like, this guy might just be changing.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And I don't know, but only the two of them can figure this one out together. But you have to talk to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that was your question, wasn't it? All right.
It was my question. It is your turn.
This question's what inspired my sexy soapbox. Thank you for sending that in. The main question is, what constitutes as a special occasion in your opinion? Hello, my favorite sexies. Oh. A month ago was my birthday. And before that, weeks
Happy birthday.
weeks before that, I brought it up with my partner that he's never gone down on me. He had said it's not something that he is interested in doing, not something he thinks of doing, and something that would only happen on special occasions. So it was my birthday, and I casually mentioned to him that this is a special occasion, right? And then, well, according to him, he doesn't like the idea that certain sex acts only happen on one of our birthdays or Christmas. And he said, it just goes ... I asked what he thinks is a special occasion, but he didn't answer. So I'm a bit confused. What would you consider a special occasion? Because I'd consider my birthday to probably be the most likely time, apart from something like Valentine's Day, which neither of us actually really celebrate Valentine's Day. So what do you think of this, and what is a special occasion? That's the end of the question.
I think that what he means is that he's only going to, pardon the pun because it doesn't actually apply, whip it out. He's only going to whip out his favor for you when he feels like it, which he's already told you is almost never. So basically he's telling you you're expecting a unicorn at some point, not the sexual unicorn. You're expecting Shangri-La to come up. Santa Claus is going to come and give you a Christmas gift at some unknown time when he feels like it. Mythical dragon.
Keep the chimney always open.
Give you head. Yeah. Always be ready for the Loch Ness monster. I think in this particular case, you're dealing with somebody who really does not want to go down. You're dealing with somebody who has no interest in giving you head. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if he's always that way. If there's something about, it's probably that he's always that way. You could ask him if it's always been a thing for him, or if it's something about the way you taste, or something that you can take care of with flavored lube or something like that, but chances are it's just something he really does not enjoy doing. And he is giving himself the mythical dragon out, which is on some random special occasion when I feel like it, meaning special, meaning all the stars have aligned for me and I feel like it tonight. I'm going to give you head. I don't know whether you have to, I'm not recommending this, feed him magic mushrooms or pot or whatever to get him to do that. Don't dose anybody, please. But it just doesn't sound to me like it's going to happen on Christmas or Easter or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or the 4th of July, insert random holiday. I don't think it's going to be that. It's not going to be an anniversary. It's going to be whenever the fuck he feels like it, if he ever feels like it. So you just have to decide if that is worth the price of admission for you to be with him. And if so, you're just going to have to unfortunately resign yourself to the fact that this man does not want to give you head, because you can't I squeeze orange juice out of a man who doesn't ever want to give you orange juice. So yeah, it doesn't sound like this is an actual negotiable for him. And I'm sorry to say that. But yeah, so you just have to ask yourself, am I willing to go the rest of my life potentially without head, or do I want someone else?
See, like today is going to be a special Socrates day. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. So because I agree with what you're saying there, but
okay,
just in case, there could be many other factors. You know what I mean? One thing I had to say, because I wrote it down in chat to remind myself, because I love what you were saying there, Alice, the mythical dragon out is awesome. We need to use that more often. This mythical dragon out of Santa Claus might be coming someday, but you don't know. Or this dragon is going to fly in the sky and drop gold on your head. Anyway, I thought that was a fantastic thing that I think
I have a mythical dragon out with like streaming still, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to create an exercise routine and get back on my trampoline. Then I'm like, I'm afraid I'll have a stalker.
Exactly. So
I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my back again.
Oh, I love how you
said
that.
Like maybe I'll never actually do it, but it is a thought in my mind that it's a thing maybe I would like to do someday, but it's a mythical dragon.
The opposite of another, not the opposite, but the option that I'm thinking of, it was right there. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. It's fear, or for someone in chat talking about, maybe it's because he doesn't know how, or he might have tried it before and it was terrible. So it's insecurity.
Well, thanks for that.
So like fear plus insecurity, a deadly combo. So it could be one of the two or a mixture of both. So these are also possibilities of understanding that. But the way, now again, I do think the case is more leaning towards Alice because the way he treated it, where it was kind of deception in a way, saying special occasion, then it was a birthday, and then it's like, oh, that doesn't count as a special occasion for me.
Not a special occasion.
Or I don't want to do sex on special occasion. I meant things other than sex on special occasions. It's like, okay, this is weird. Like that double, it's almost like a bait and switch in a way. So if that's how he really was handling it, then I would lean more towards like, okay, he's just scared to admit that he doesn't want to ever do it, and that like he's scared of losing you based on that, or being judged that he doesn't want to do that. Whatever it is, I'm sensing a lot of fear and insecurity, and then again, he knows himself, but he doesn't believe in in actually expressing it in a way that's good for a relationship, because if you want one way to make things worse is the way he's handling it that way. So again, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to be that way. I would lean more towards Alice, what she's talking about. But again, there is always those insecurities, fears, or things in the past that can bite us, and he's too scared to talk about them. That's perfectly plausible from the way it was sounding like it's probably not going to be that. But again, if everything else is perfect, doesn't sound like it is because you didn't mention too much good things in that. But if you want to like try get to understand that, because again, what's a good relationship? Getting to understand each other and know what's going on and seeing if you can explore together. Because the first thing that came to mind in a positive front on this question is trying to explore together. Like Alice was talking about flavored lube. I love that idea. Stuff like that, where there's things you can explore together. But if it's really not the case, it's just, again, another reason why you might not be just a good couple, where if that's what you really want and he's not even willing to try or talk about it without kind of bait and switching you, that's not probably good. So do your best to get to know each other better and figure out what might be going on. And you might not be good for each other. You might be. Who knows? Good luck.
Fingers crossed for you.
And what's a special occasion? That was she kind of was philosophically starting that way. What is a special occasion? That's what she
wanted to know. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I can sympathize with this guy because, you never want to feel forced to do a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, and yeah, maybe he agreed that he would do it on a special occasion, but then you like last minute called the special occasion tomorrow or today because it's my birthday and I want this now. And maybe he was like, I don't want to feel pressured into this. And that's fair, right? Like on the other side, like nobody wants to feel pressured into doing a thing. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, trans, like nobody wants to feel pressured into doing things. So maybe special occasion really is the special occasion where if I take away the cynicism of the dragon thing, maybe it just means like he'll bring it out on a special occasion, but he's got to make that call. It's possible that he just doesn't want to, for me, special occasions. What are special occasions? Valentine's Day, anniversaries. Oh, what's a really great special occasion? By the time you podcast listeners will have heard this episode, my parents will have tied the knot again, weirdly. They saw a sign for $15. You get to renew your vows and give your partner a rose. And my dad was like, let's do it. And apparently like hundreds of other people are showing up for this event. Mm-hmm. So I told my parents, congratulations on their cult wedding.
Happy cult wedding. That's a special occasion. Definitely special.
I said, listen, I know I'm polyamorous, but please make sure that the wedding certificate only has dad's name on it, Mom. Cause like, I don't think I could handle having hundreds of new parents. So yeah. So renewing your vows is a special occasion. Did I say anniversaries already? Birthdays? Yes, 100%. Whatever religious holidays you want to piggyback on. Dan Savage is took an old, I forget when it was. I think it was in January. He took an old Catholic holiday called the Feast of the Ass and turned it into a new
special occasion.
New sex holiday. Mm-hmm. Love that. Feast of the Ass would be a great time to ask your boyfriend not only to go down on you, but to eat your ass. There you go. You think that you think he's
got it
squeamish
easy.
now.
He's got it easy.
Ask him now for some tossed salad. That's great.
He's got it easy.
Anytime there's fireworks, I love any New Year's. It could be Yom Kippur. It could be Rosh Hashanah. No, not Rosh. It could be Yom Kippur. It could be New Year's. It could be the Chinese New Year. Pick your holiday, whatever. There's like a holiday every day. Here, let's
you
Google
can make
right
it.
now.
You can make it. Like that's what I mean. To me, a special
holiday?
occasion could be anything you make, and that's what makes it special is that you made it together. To me, right? Like that's what you said about anniversaries. I always remember the first day I met my wife, and we don't really celebrate it, but it's always a thing that's a special occasion for me because I know the day that we first met. But and in Japan, they have a roaming holiday where the emperor's birthday is always a vacation for the whole nation, but the emperor changes every now and then. So then when the emperor changes, there's a different holiday that crops up. So that becomes a special occasion, but it's a moving based on the birthday. So there's so many different ways. I do think a special occasions is any day you can make it, or just anything. I guess it would be linked to memories because again, Valentine's Day, I'm guessing, is something to do with Saint Valentine and all that stuff. So you could even, if you really wanted to science it down, it's something to do with creating or honoring a memory of something. But again, that means you can make any day a special occasion. I could just like poke my camera in it now and hurt myself, but I'll remember that and say today is poke a camera day. That's a special occasion.
I mean, I once had some of the best sex of my life with someone right before we went to a funeral together. And there was something really special about celebrating life right before the funeral of our friend, like that was really special. So, maybe you've overcome cancer. And so you want to have a great fucking celebration on February 4th for World Cancer Day. Cause you're like, fuck cancer. Let's fuck each other on World Cancer Day.
Yeah.
I do it. But you know what? World Heart Day sounds like any good day, or International Nurses Day. You could fuck each other to celebrate the nurses in our world. Whatever you want, man. Every day is a special occasion. Every day you're with your partner is a special occasion if they're not driving you nuts. So, hey, cheers. Here's to you. Good luck.
Yeah. It's so special occasion is like really like what we talk about relationships. Each relationship's going to be so unique because each individual is unique. So a special occasion, someone in chat was saying that, some people really like anniversaries. We tend to forget it, so it's not a big deal for us, but there's other days that are important. So again, that relationship will have special occasion days. So maybe yours isn't going to be Valentine's Day or your birthday, I guess, but you'll make it your own, like which days are special occasions. And that's basically what I think of that. Oh, before we move on to our Valentine's Day questions, Webster Games had a question that I did say we're going to answer on this podcast. So do you mind if we
Do you have Valentine's Day questions? Because I just have regular questions. But yes.
Oh, I did. Please. Yeah. Well, Valentine's Day-ish, Yeah.
Please.
But I wanted to get this before I forget because I know we're going to probably do a couple more questions, but I wanted to make sure Webster Games
I'm glad you brought those
this
out because I did not pick those. I just picked the regular ones from our cache. So, okay.
So it's short and sweet. So thank you for your questions. And again, you can do that at sexytimedlove@gmail.com or join our Patreon at patreon.com/sexytimepodcast and contact us through our private Discord or to me or Alice privately with a DM there. So thank you for all your support. So it's a short and quick one. Just, I think it's kind of similar
for this one.
Kind of similar to what the previous questioner was asking about our thoughts on something, where it's like, what is a special occasion? They are curious.
The Feast of the Ass Day.
That may be perfect for this question too. I think it would be perfect for this type of thing if you want to try it. They're curious, Webster Games, to know what we think about blurred lines between roleplay in the bedroom and roleplay with friends in tabletop RPGs and other such formats where you're really doing a lot of roleplay. So asking that's basically it. Thank you. Best regards. Thank you, Webster Games. So the blurred lines between roleplay in the bedroom and roleplay in other formats, what happens if that blurs, or can it be like the good, I'd say the good or bad of or possibilities with that. That's what they're asking.
Well, I am going to have to leave most of this question to you because I do not have any experience.
I'm a dungeon master.
Beyond working with, I will say, beyond talking with people who have experience as dungeon masters, I've not done any live action role play myself, so I don't actually know, but I am an actor, right? And all of acting is live action role play as far as I'm concerned. So the only things I have to say about it are, one, if you're comfortable in live action role play, allow that to give you confidence if you want to bring role play into the bedroom, because you already know how to jump into a character and to do it with confidence. So I'm going to say, go ahead and use that as a springboard for you to use live action or to use role play in your sexual adventures, if that's something you want to explore. Number one. Number two, my understanding with like live action role play is that it's like lots of people usually, right? It's not like you and one other person.
Yep.
So I feel like that would be tricky. You might find yourself maybe flirting with somebody and then meeting up with them outside of the game to see if there's something there. Unless you're planning to create some kind of adult sex play crossover thing. And then I would say just be careful, because screenshots are a real thing and you don't want to be blackmailed. But if you trust all the people that you're gaming, that you're what do we call this, gaming, that you're role playing with,
I would say it would count.
If you trust all the people that you're role playing with and you feel like they're all game for some kind of adult D&D kind of game and you want to go for that, and just realize there is a little bit of risk, set some ground rules, make sure you've got consent with everybody, and have a good time. I'm very curious. Also said, thank you for the question, Webster Games. And for the, we all, every once in a while we get every once in a while we get a anonymous, there we go, non-monogamous and non-anonymous question. And it's really cool. So thank you very much. We appreciate all of our anonymous and non-anonymous questions.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that, Alice. Because again, you're saying that you don't have experience in it, but it was actually very great to hear your general thoughts on it, because it does get my juices flowing, because I've done role playing.
I like to get people's juices flowing.
I haven't done a lot, but I actually, actually mathematically, I've done more dungeon mastering, or I don't know what the term is, like the person who actually is the storyteller or leader of the story, who's not doing as much acting, although they are for the characters. They're NPC characters mostly, but anyway, so I've done more of that than the other thing, than actually doing the role playing. But from your thoughts there, it's interesting. I think it's the tapping into the fear of the blurred lines, right? And I think it's a good practice in not being scared of the true joys that you're trying to do. Because so what I'm thinking is, as someone who's done it before, I could see the desire to want to share that joy of, again, you're flirting as a character, or you're doing something that's almost like you're feeling sexual tension or romantic tension in acting the characters and whatnot, and then it kind of like the blurred lines can start becoming there, and really the desire comes from wanting to share that joy of what it's like to actually to act out those feelings of flirtiness, or act out those feelings of those things, right? And that's where I think that's the good thing, in where it helps you want to share that joy. But the thing is that the blurred lines is a negative connotation of like fear that, oh, this isn't appropriate because we knew we were role playing and it's breaking the boundaries of that fantasy and truth, right? So I think as long it's a good practice in honesty with what yourself is, and exploration in the real world versus role playing. Because I think role playing, we often talk about that in the bedroom, that it's exploring to see if you do like it or not. And then you're going to have to go to IRL in real life and then explore there the same way. As you said, if there was some sort of thing in the game and then you want to check it out in real life, don't let the fear of saying, oh, wait, I was wrong, it's just the game. Oh, no, and letting yourself down, where it's like, no, it's practice to try to do these things that you should be trying in real life too, as long as you're being honest and setting your boundaries and being not scared of the truth of what's happening in real life and what's happening in the role play, in the game, or in that world that you're creating with friends or someone that you want to be more than a friend. And there's definitely couples and partners who play role playing, in and out of the bedroom. They probably play the tabletop games too with a bunch of friends, and they can handle that too. So again, it's I think the only trap is to go down the negative path, or thinking it's scary to understand these feelings that naturally come up when you're either role playing or it's in real life and you're expressing these sexy, joyful, whatever feelings that you think are blurring the lines, right? I think the fear in not letting it scare you away from possibilities and exploring is the problem with blurring lines there. I mean, it's the same thing with like porn. Let's take it out of the RPG stuff. Like in porn, if your porn ever leaks into your actual real sex life and it's negatively affecting it, where you can only get off with porn, it's very similar to that. I think that's another thing with blurred lines in RPG tabletop playing, where it's if you prefer one or the other too much, that's the danger too, right? Like I only like being intimate in the role playing. That would be bad, right? And it's okay. You can do that for a long time, and actually you could do that forever as long as the partners you're with know that that's what you're in it for, right? Like, and again, so it's about the truth and honesty and setting boundaries, and practicing that, I think, is the best way to avoid those blurred lines. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I forget where Webster Games is in the world. I want to say overseas. UK.
Somewhere
so
in the
I don't
UK.
know if FetLife is popular over there in the UK. But you know what? It just dawned on me that there's probably a FetLife subcategory for this. I'm not sure, but it might be worth looking into. You might be able to find a group of like-minded role players who want to have sexy adult role play games and who are already leading them. I bet this is a thing. And if you do some research, you probably could find it.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Again, yeah, I would want to explore in that. So
I mean, think about it. I keep thinking about those medieval Renaissance-y like outfits where the women have their breasts falling out, basically. Like, man, those costumes are sexy. And there's like all these men in uniform and shit. Yeah.
I wanted to make a joke, but I forgot the word.
Check it out.
What's the thing that's above that they wear the fake hair above the groin? What is that called? You know what I'm talking about? Like a wig for your groin. There's a wig for your groin in the old days that they used to...
merkin?
That's it. I was going to say, like, yeah, I hope you ladies get off on merkins, because I think it's time to whip out my old merkin. But I couldn't remember the word.
Oh, man.
But it'd be fun role-playing with a merkin.
Seriously, thank you so much, Webster Games, for getting us a little bit out of our wheelhouse, out of our normal wheelhouse anyway. That was a fun question. Please bring us more. We love it.
Yeah, give us some curveballs.
We love it.
All right, yeah. So
do it.
You have one more question?
I've got one more celebration related question. I think we have time for one more, right? Okay, great. So this is a question about so this is a 27-year-old male talking about his 25-year-old wife. He's saying my wife went out for a bachelorette party last week, and the group went pub crawling. They got super drunk, and as the night went on, she got more and more drunk, and all of her texts to me were misspelled and ridiculous.
Okay.
Eventually, she finally called me at 2:00 in the morning to say she was really shit-faced and that she'd be home soon. She literally hiccuped into the phone.
Okay.
She kept sending me videos then of her and her friends taking shots, and she was beyond gone when she walked through the door at 4 a.m. She tried to hide how drunk she was, but it was impossible for her to hide, as she slurred all of her speech as she continued to tell me how everything went and showed me pictures from her phone. She started clumsily rubbing me and giving me really like alcohol.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, what?
Alcohol reeking kisses.
Okay.
The grammar got a little funny. I had to translate. Sorry.
Maybe he's drunk.
I think he's excited because he now says when she was that sloppy, she was a complete turn on.
Okay.
And we had very messy but incredible sex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into this. And
Oh.
we did establish afterwards that we both consent to having sex together when drunk. But I'm wondering if it's crossing a line to try to get her drunk or to ask her if she'd be open to having her get drunk and fool around. It seems like a strange thing for me to ask her. I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm really into her getting loose every now and then.
That's nice. This is great. I'm glad it's consensual too, because that's very important. And how long have they been together? Did they say that? Because they're in their early 20s, right? 20.
He's 27 and she's 25.
Okay, they're in the mid-20s.
It doesn't say how long they've been together.
Okay, cool. Well, that's great. It sounds like you're going to have a lovely Valentine's Day, or every special occasion could be special again, as we were talking about, depending on what happens. But back to the question. I think, okay, now this is my first thought. Just because you covered your bases in the way this question was asked, it's very important, again, for the consensuality, and that it's not going to be abusive in any way or taking advantage of, and kind of sneaking around those borders. But since you've created those boundaries already, that's okay. I think the main problem that's coming to me is where patience is a virtue is what plays. You're trying to jumping into the end in the way you're asking this question, saying, I want you to be drunk so we can have sex. That's kind of like, there's many different ways to do it better since you've already agreed that it's okay, right? It's not manipulative to actually be honest with, like, you want to have some drinks before we get started? You could say it that way instead. Like, you don't have to say like, hey, I want to only have sex with you when you're drunk or something like that. That's just like, it's not going to be good, especially, it's just not something. It's like you're using them at that point. And that's what your question is really. It's like, am I using them or taking advantage of them? It is if you always like go in that mind frame. But if you're both enjoying the sex, if you're both consensual and it's all cool and she's cool with that, keep that part, keep the seduction or the dance part before sexy too. Don't be like, oh, good. Now that we both agreed, now I can just say, hey, get drunk so we can fuck. It's like, that doesn't work that way, right? It's like, hey, you mind if we have some drinks before we get started? You could do something like that instead of like, oh, no, you need to drink this now because you agreed, you said it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting from the question, since you covered all your bases. And I'm not sure if you've covered it well enough. So it's always good to make sure that you're still on board, because as Alice was talking about, people can change. So what if she you enjoy it for a while, and then after a while she's like, oh, I'm noticing that I'm not enjoying it anymore, or I'm sick of it, that, she might be feeling pressure eventually over time too. That naturally will come if you're doing it in a weird way. If you are trying to manipulate, she'll probably be like, oh, you only want to have sex with me when I'm drunk. What the fuck? So again, I would just make sure that's all above board. And then remember, the foreplay is important too. Not just oh, good, we got the free pass to do it. Let's just get drunk and fuck and say it that way. It's like, no. Like, still be like, be that couple that you were before you got the green light, when you both created those boundaries. That's what I was thinking. What do you think, Alice?
I have so many thoughts about this that they're literally swirling all around. It's part of the reason I like paused in the middle of the question. Thank you for being so open and honest with this. Thank you for getting a good conversation going with your wife already about this, or girlfriend, excuse me. Thank you for getting a good conversation with your girlfriend about this going already, where you were making sure that you have consent in advance for this. I think that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to you for doing that. My biggest concerns about this are actually like health related.
Good call.
Physical and mental health in terms of that, because binge drinking isn't really like super healthy for anyone. And it sounds like either you guys have a newer relationship or this isn't something that she does very often. And there's a reason why when you go to your doctor's office, they ask you how often you drink. It's fine to have a glass or two, here or there, but if you're constantly getting binge drunk, or drunk to the point of blacking out, or like super, just if you're drinking a lot to the point of excess whenever you're getting drunk, that can be a health hazard. And I think, I get that you want to do it again, and I get that you want to do it again soon because it was super fun for you. And I think it might be important to make it a special occasion here and there. Maybe not once a year, especially if she likes drinking and she likes doing that and having fun, like, great, let her do that. But I would say don't encourage it to the point that she ends up like becoming an alcoholic, or, really taxing her liver, or, having major health issues in general because of it. Or, it gets in the way of her work or her productivity or her life, like if you find that she's getting depressed the next day, because sometimes alcohol can do that to people, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on her mental health and her physical health as she's going through this. And encourage her to do the same, be open and honest with her. I had so much fun and I would love to do this more often with you if you're open to it. And I want to make sure that we keep you healthy. So let's talk about the parameters. Have an open, honest conversation about this. Be like, how often do you want to do this? What do you think? Like, what feels good and safe and fun for you? And heck, maybe there's a world in which like you could even role play it. I mean, people can play drunk and it can be just as convincing. It depends on the person. But yeah, I mean, maybe you do want to save it for like regular special occasions. Maybe you want to drink together. Maybe she's more lightweight than you, so the two of you drinking together, she just naturally gets more drunk. I don't know, but I just want to encourage you, however you go about this, to be intentional and caring about her health and her mental well-being, and the health of you guys as a couple. Just continue to be open about it and conscious. And if you want to set a couple more parameters, like, hey, if I ever get so drunk that I pass out, please don't continue to have sex with me while I'm like limp and not able to say no. Like, there may be lines you want to make sure you don't cross. But that again is a conversation for the two of you to have. So have that.
I agree. I love that. That's very important. And again, I at the end, I was talking about change, because it could change. When you get when you find that new sex position or new orgasm style, you get so excited and think you want it all the time. But eventually things can change too, right? So again, enjoy it while you have it, and but make sure you do the due diligence for safety, health and mental health, especially, because that's the one that'll last longer. So yeah, but again, that was a great question. I love that, and it sounds like he's in the right path, because he's already he's already worried that even though it was okay and they agreed in general. And I agree, dig down into that a little bit more to make sure you're more specific about what's okay and what's not, and keep going forward and adjust. But he was concerned that he was taking advantage of already. So I think he's on a good path to make sure to enjoy what you can when you're agreeing with each other and keeping each other safe and healthy in a fucking amazing sexual relationship. Hopefully an awesome one for you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
to
Day.
Those of you on our live stream who haven't finished celebrating quite yet. And we love you all. We're so grateful for all of our listeners as well. And for any of you out there in the world who have relatives, family, friends who are involved in that terrible tragedy in Turkey and Syria, we just want you to know our hearts go out to you. We know a lot of people are having a very difficult time right now. And we hope you all get the help that you need, that your loved ones are safe and healthy and happy, and that you're able to I don't know, come back to joy and happiness and sexy time very, very soon.
Yeah, got that on the news here in Japan too. And then I also got the news about stuff coming in Ohio, so it's more important more than ever.
You mean Michigan?
Or is it Michigan? I don't know. It's in Japan. I thought it was in Ohio.
I have a dear friend who
Michigan.
Michigan State University. I have a dear friend who may have some friends who are missing.
Actually, I was talking about something else too, but I know what you mean by Michigan State. I'm talking about Ohio with the train. There's a lot of weird things happening in the world right now.
There's something in Ohio too.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm like, there's a lot of crap going on. So it's more important than ever to stay sexy and stay safe. But before we close up, happy Valentine's to all of you. Again, we appreciate so much our Patreons, patreon.com/Sexytime podcast, and all you lurkers, listeners of the podcast, mahal kita, wherever you may be. We definitely have an international audience, so thank you so much for keeping the show going. And before we go, I want to make sure we let you know on Podcast Line the poll results.
I think our results are very heavily weighted by who's here and who's not.
I know. Exactly. The people who are listening live on Valentine's Day may be busy having sex or hanging out, so yeah.
With their significant others. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Right. So
or themselves. I don't mind them having sex and hanging out with themselves. No, that's totally great. But yeah, that's what we were talking about before. And I agree with that perfectly. Like, love yourself. So Valentine's Day here's the poll. 61% said it's just another day. 30% said it's a good time to remember to love all. 7% said it's for money greedy corporations, and 0% said a great day to treat my significant other. I love that.
That's why I think that 0% they're all out there treating their significant others.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's true. 0% is significant other. That's true. They're all out there doing it. So then we might have to run this again next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Cheers to all of you who are out there treating your significant others who will not be watching this podcast. We appreciate you all.
Thank you,
everybody. And again, thank you so much to our new and old doms. We're so lucky to have you. We can't wait to hear how you want to dom us next. If you want to be a sub, don't forget to go to patreon.com/Sexytime podcast. You can be our dom. We're very good subs, BK and I.
And we appreciate all the subs on YouTube too. Make sure you do that. YouTube.com/Sexytime podcast. I remember on 2 shows ago when I was solo, that was what I was noticing. Thank you so much for your time, because time is the most valuable thing, and we appreciate all your listens and watches, but we do need more subs. Yeah, we need more subs.
Yeah.
Watch time's always the hardest, but
get it up with us.
We're doing really great because you guys are freaking amazing lovers and givers and receivers. So you're giving us great watch time, but let's up the subs, please. So youtube.com/Sexytime podcast. Tell a friend. Happy Super Bowl to you all as well in America.
Cheers.
Or anywhere you're watching it. Again, it's more important now than ever to stay sexy and to stay safe.
And don't get caught in public.
We're good. Yeah, we went a little long, so I was like, let's close. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, we started early. So.
Yeah, we did. I was like, we're going a little long. Cool. So, yeah. But that was fun. Valentine's Day. Thank you all. That was funny. Even though the alerts are off,
great to see Jay.
The sound still triggers, so someone followed.
They're already out.
Yeah. I have to double check to see who did that. Jay Winch, yeah? Everybody. Go ahead and give a roll call to everybody who was in chat. I like that. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. We had, hang on. I got to get there.
Happy Valentine's
We had Story of Dory popping by. We had Shirley, of course. We had Monster J, of course. Great to see you guys. Thank you. I say of course, but I do not take either of you for granted. We are fucking lucky to have you here. R.A. Harold came in. We never see R.A. because I think she's always busy doing other stuff during our show. So super great to see and hear the Mistress of Ceremonies, Hazel Waters, popped in tonight. It was really great to see everybody. So thanks for coming in, keeping us company on this Valentine's on our Happy Vagina Day.
Happy Vagina Day. It's awesome. Happy Vagina Day to all. It was amazing. And
hi to Minky popping in.
Minky came in. Just came in.
Love a great finisher.
Hi, Minky. And
thanks for finishing us off.
Yeah, we had a new sub, Panfilo Pancho, on YouTube, so it's not going to show up on the screen, but during the podcast, it'll show up before and after the podcast because we turn off the alerts. But yeah, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. And Minky, yeah. All right, everybody, It's time for pillow
If
talk.
you are not a sub already on Patreon, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Come on over. You're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. Seriously, we can be your doms. We can be your subs. We're pretty good at both, actually.
Yeah.
What would you say, BK? Are you a better dom or a better sub?
I'm definitely a better dom.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Huh.
You don't want to see me.
That surprises me.
Oh, but like, I mean, I'm good at subbing.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But like, I think I'm a better dom because it's more natural to me.
Funny, I think I'm a better dom as well.
Really? Were you opposite in
But
the beginning?
honestly,
Though?
I'm really more of a switch. I'm much more of a switch. I prefer the give and take.
It's like, were you opposite earlier? Like, because that's me. That's why I would say I'm a dom, because like when I was like growing up, I think I was naturally like more like groomed to be a sub, to be honest, like raised to be a sub.
Yes.
So that's why I think.
Look at my face.
I know. So again, I think we're both similar. Where it's like,
Yes.
yeah, and yeah.
But I don't think that's true. You know what? I had bad doms.
Yeah. Interesting. That's true.
Sorry, parents. I love you dearly.
Maybe. Yeah. I think we're. Yeah.
But
I mean,
had
I'm
bad
definitely
doms.
a switch. But
I had bad doms. Yeah.
You have to make me think about this more. Dang it! Now I have to know myself. I tell everybody to know themselves better. I have to know myself better.
Gifts. I wonder if there are any parenting books all written about dominant and submissive behavior.
Oh yeah.
There should be.
Oh yeah, but
Kasia Urbaniak should write a parenting book.
Totally.
Anyway,
because it'll affect.
I'm going
their
off on
kids.
tangents. If you don't know what I'm talking about, y'all, I'm reading again for like the millionth time. I'm gonna read it 100 times and still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. There's this great book called Unbound: A Woman's Guide to Power. Oh my God, OMG, OMG! I cannot recommend it more. For men and women, frankly, it is incredible how so many of us are conditioned to keep our mouths shut when we really should learn some better tools. Yeah. Anyway,
keep talking. Keep talking.
That's my shtick.
Dang it! I'm trying to find it.
I think we should go.
I know. I mean, I'll put the link.
Unbound: A Woman's Guide to Power.
It's in one of the. Whenever we referred to it before, and that's why I'm trying to find the link that I used to have of it, because I still have it somewhere. But like, yeah, I was gonna put the link, but it'll be in the description once the video gets aired. So. And I think we should actually, since we referred to it multiple times, we should put it in the Discord when we grab it. So I will do that too. So all you lovely Patreons, again, you can go to the Discord and check that out. I'll put that in the Patreon section. All right.
We love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
As always, we really can't do it without you.
You're all of our Valentines. Thank you. Every day. Till then, till next time, stay sexy, stay safe.
And don't get caught in public. We need you for later.
Happy Day. Vag Day. Happy Vag Day.
Happy Vagina Day, Minky. Happy Vagina Day, Monster.
Oh my God, bye.
say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run, no rush. You're my caffeine in the morning. Got me feeling like I'm on top of the world. We don't try to impress. Baby, we're not like the rest, oh. Just sitting on the steps outside. This stillness frees our mind. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run. You're my caffeine in the morning. Got me feeling like I'm on top of the world. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to think too much. Let our bodies soak in the sun. Yeah, there's no need to run. You're my caffeine in the morning.